Hello and welcome back to the PC Gaming Vortex. In our final episode here of our Rift into the Vortex, I wanted to show you some of the higher level content on my actual character. I had played through the original Rift all the way through, just had a blast with it, being a large group of friends. Just really loved it. Sadly, we had ran out of content because it was launch game. Did all the dungeons and all that stuff, and we just ran out of things to do. So what we did is we had stopped playing for a while. Once Storm Legion came out, we were off playing other games, working on this channel, etc., so we hadn't come back. We just came back recently, actually right before they announced they were going free to play. It was interesting timing. And I am working my way through the Storm Legion content, which once again is fantastic. This game just is so much fun. So my character is currently level 52, about halfway through. And I'm going to show you some of the ideas that's going on at the higher levels. So we touched on some of the ideas on the characters we created for the series, showing you things like rifts, showing you things like the invasion at the very end there, showing you the basics of crafting, things like that. And the basics of the soul tree, I'm going to go in a little different. So first thing we'll do is I'll show you a glance at my soul tree. You can see I'm 52 points into Ranger, 16 points into Marksman. They made a lot of changes while I was gone, and I haven't really dug into the trees to min-max quite yet, but I am following the pre-built path that was similar to how I was playing before, which is pet-based. And this, of course, is my PvE spec before I'm out adventuring. I also have I have a healer spec, I have a tank spec, I have a pure DPS spec, which is all marksman. Having all those specs is pretty important. So the first thing you'll notice on my screen is I have quite a bit more going on than I did on the early level character. I have my mods going. I have a number of mods. I have these up here, which is just a modified buff window. I have an experience ticker, I have a DPS meter, I have something that tells me my range to my target since I have abilities with range, and then I have a secondary location that shows me my action points, my combo points. Also in my setup I have a macro, which is right here. What this does is it cycles through all the different shots I have, so that the moment that my hard-hitting casting time shot comes up, it does that, allowing me to dot, debuff, shot, finishing strike, and continue on. This character setup is not very challenging to do, as you can see, but it gets a little trickier when you're when you're in actual DPS mode, when you're in non-PvE, out on your own doing quests, when you're actually doing dungeons and such. So let's jump right in, show you a little bit of combat here. So I dotted him, I debuffed him, finishing shot. One more, redot him, you can see it wore off, redebuff him. Yeah, pretty simple, nothing too crazy. I have a proc going on there that's on one of my items, and that's all there is to it. Some characters and some classes do a little bit more than me. They require more abilities and such, but mine is pretty streamlined, the way I have it standing right now. If you look on the map, you'll see in my current zone I'm in the new area. The new area is 2 continents, like I was saying in the past videos. It is a very large area. There are multiple events going on. I have quests going on, but there's also some footholds here. A number of footholds. There's a rift over here. Plenty of stuff to do. If I wanted to do things other than quests, I can jump in and do that. A couple things to show you that we didn't catch on yet is the planar focus concept of the game. So gear-wise, obviously you have your different slots of gear. Those are very important. But at the bottom here is what they call planar focuses. And what these are is these are lesser and greater planar focuses all put into this. Sorry, they're lesser and greater planar essences all put into this planar focus. This is another piece of gear that you earn through multiple means. You can get these, I believe, through spending planarite. You can get these with marks and things you get from dungeons. There's all kinds of ways you can get these. But the idea is it's a different level of gear. This is more slots that you can customize your guy with, more things that you can raise your stats with, and more things that you can really get your guy, tuned up and ready to be a mob-killing beast. But I wanted to show that system because I do think it's pretty fun. You upgrade this, you can get all kinds of stuff in there. It's got, like, for example, this one has an equip on it. Weapon attacks have a chance to increase attack power by 50 and assume the form of a death touch minion. So now you know why I was turning into that guy with the 2 swords. So all kinds of special stuff you can do with those. Very fun stuff. There are, of course, mounts in the game. A number of mounts you can get, letting you move faster, which is great. I believe they start at level 20, unless you have a collector's edition mount of some sort. There are collectible pets in the game, called companions. You know, just like most other games, they just run alongside you and look fun. They don't really do much else. They're just for collecting. They're not quite like Meat Shield here.
Also cute and adorable.
Yeah, some of them are cute and adorable, like, for example, Rudy the Red-Nosed Reindeer I have here. Some of them not so much, like this scarab. It's kind of nasty looking. But nonetheless, it's fun to collect stuff like that. This game does support titles. You get them as you go through the game. There are prefixes and suffixes. So, for example, I'm not just Hikaro, I am Sir Hikaro, the Lightbringer, as current. You know, because, as you remember, the gods brought us back because we were mighty. So, might as well be the Lightbringer.
Lightbringer with an H.
There you go. Well, this one's not with an H. Well, I guess the H at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to use this item to get me back into town here. Go over some of the basics. Tempest Bay is the new main hub for the Guardians in the expansion. Sanctum is still used plenty, but Tempest Bay has all the higher level crafters and turn-ins and dailies and stuff like that. So this item should take me to the Portcullis, so I'll use that to warp back to Sanctum. Yep. Where's the guy?
It just really screams Harry Potter to me, you know, Porticulum.
Okay, back to Sanctum. The instances in this game, the dungeons I've done, which is the original dungeons that were in the game at the beginning, the 1 through 50 dungeons, were a blast. I really did enjoy them. They have a feel of challenge to them, but they're not too crazy tricky. When you get into the expert level stuff, it definitely gets harder. It takes some planning. People have to know their roles in the group. You know, move when this happens, phase 1, phase 2, things like that. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I'm normally not the end game rating kind of guy, but in this game I did find myself enjoying it quite thoroughly. It is a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to head down here to the crafting area. Okay, so one of the crafts I do is called Runecrafting. What Runecrafting does, it allows you to make these runes. Runes, you can have one on each piece of gear. It tells you on the item what it applies to. So, for example, this specific rune goes on gloves. It has to be an item level of 51, and it adds parry of 19. So what this does is adds even more customization for your character and your gear, really getting it down exactly what you want. So if you are a dexterity-based guy doing a lot of range DPS, you can add one that does dexterity. As you can see, there's strength ones, there's wisdom ones, there's endurance ones, there's toughness. Pretty much anything you want you can do, allowing you to customize your guy, min-max your guy, however you want to do it. There are a lot of things you can make in this game. As you can see, I will show you I am also an outfitter. I'm not maxed out on either one of these because of the expansion, but you can see there is a good number of things you can make. Outfitters also make bags, by the way, so if bags are something you need, that is an option you can do. Okay, so let's go over Planar attunement. Okay, so Planar attunement was something added in after I had originally stopped playing, but I think it's fantastic. The way they did this is really, really smart. What this does is this allows you to pick one of the elements from the rifts and then really dive in, and it gives you a whole nother tree, actually 3 of them. Once you fill the first one, I actually have points to spend, which I will. Once you fill this one all the way up, this one unlocks. Once you fill this one all the way up, this one unlocks. As you can see, it gives you everything from increasing damage done to air rift creatures to just flat out giving you dexterity, attack power by 4 when wielding daggers, all kinds of stuff. And like I said, there are a number of options depending on the one you choose. So if you go into this one, for example, you'll notice that this is going to be endurance. So this is more for tanky, wielding a sword, earth resistance. Yeah, endurance here. This is going to be more tanky, increases strength, dexterity. Look at that, pretty much does everything. But there's a lot of different ones. As you go further into these, you're actually going to raise the number of planar charges you can hold. And that's a good time to look into the actual planar charges. The idea of planar charges are very simple. It is a secondary, like mana, I guess you can say, for specific spells that have to do with planar stuff. So I will show you an example. I have Guardian's Flare. Guardian's Flare costs 1 planar charge, has a cooldown of 2 minutes, and it's cast instantly. Summons a Guardian Force to attack a planar idol. So say you're there and you're attacking a foothold and you're trying to gain it back. I can cast this using one of my planar charges, and a small force will charge in and NPCs and will help me attack. These are things you earn as you're going through. Here's another example, Holy Champion. Cooldown of a minute, instant cast, 1 planar charge. Against a planar invasion, so a whole invasion, increased targeted damage by 200%. Against Colossi, increases targeted damage by 20%. Colossi, of course, being the giant bosses that appear. Reduces damage taken from both planar invasions and Colossi by 75%. Lasts for 60 seconds. So it basically gives you one really good buff, kind of a burst for 60 seconds for a minute. And the planar charges are used for that. In the new rifts, the post-50 rifts, they added the ability to have like defenses, almost like tower defenses. You would also use, once you hit 51, you're automatically given that ability to do, but you would use planar charges for that also. Repairing turrets to protect your footholds, healing wells that automatically heal good guys around it, things like that. Kind of neat. They added a whole like extra layer of things for the foothold system and the rift and invasion system. It's pretty cool. Nothing like being there trying to fight it off yourself, clearing one side, building a couple turrets, going to the other side, knowing that the turrets are at least holding their ground a little bit, running around, taking stuff out, getting a small group together, and really building up that fortress to hold itself. A lot of fun.
It does sound like it. That'd be pretty cool.
Definitely enjoyable. The next thing I'll show you is the guild system. I mean, the only way to do it is to show you our guild information. But this is the guild system. As you notice, there is a level up at the top. The guild does level based off of their achievements they do. Also, there are quests. I can have 1 quest active in the guild at a time, and of course officers and guild leaders can choose that quest, assign, and turn in. In this specific case, it was 500 kills on rift creatures. The grant experience, they don't want you to go kill level 5 stuff if you're level 50. And then closing rifts to gain experience. And we are almost done with that one. There are perk trees, active and passive, that you can get for the points you've earned. Things like increasing resistances. This is a buff you can do. This one is killing a player, heals you 15% of maximum health over 10 seconds. Cannot be applied more than once every 10 seconds. There is also, this is a PvP one obviously, Call the Ascended. Call the Ascended, what it does is if you get this like banner thing, you can use it, and it brings all raid members within 50 meters back from the dead. So it's a mass resurrect, which is really neat. So you get the basic idea. This one allows you to increase the chance of getting a second skill point from successfully crafting, reducing the cooldown on your soul recall, which is your gate spell back to your bind location, extra coin from looting monsters. This is just all kinds of fun stuff. This is all based off of consensus. You would want the leader and of course the officers to figure out exactly where they want to put the points and go from there. You get more points by leveling up. You level up the guild. The dimensions, which is the zone, the guild hall, excuse me. You have to level up your guild to qualify for the higher level ones. So we have the Stone Flask Tavern, and at level 15 and level 25 we will qualify for the bigger ones, like the Golem Foundry, which just sounds fantastic. The whole shaping sounds really cool too. Yeah, some of these just sound amazing. The Stone Flask Tavern is actually pretty cool too. I'll show you guys that, so you get a concept of the basic level guild hall. For those of you that have watched our EverQuest 2 series, you might recognize the name of the guild. It is actually the Rift chapter of the EverQuest 2 guild we are in, Celestial Mischief. It is a good group of people over in EverQuest 2, and when we were active in Rift, we were a great group of people here too. But this is the guild hall. Pretty basic concept, but quite awesome. You basically can build your own tavern. Very cool stuff. And if you look out here, we got like a waterfall. It's like a little I don't know, cavern, I guess you could say. It's got like a cliff edge. Looks really cool. Haven't done any decorating. Actually, just unlocked it. But I look forward to decorating this. Have to get Darkrelic in here to help decorate it. He does really good. If you've ever seen our housing video in EverQuest 2, you can see the amazing work him and Xavier have done. But yeah, this is great. This is fun stuff. All the stuff they've added to Rift has all been welcome in my mind. It's all very smart stuff. So we will work back to where we were. I'm going to quickly go over the achievement system. Let's see if we can find it. There's instant adventure right there, by the way. If you just want to jump around from event to event and have some fun. There we are, achievements. So this has a full achievement system. So the achievements in this game, there are a lot of them. Everything from world event achievements to PvP, to raids, to dungeons, to just zone-wide achievements. I've done X amount of quests. Like, for example, complete 75 quests here. It gives me 10 points. But the beauty of these is it also gives you an item. So when I completed this achievement, I got an item that gave me 50,000 experience toward Planar attunement. That's just awesome. So in most games, when you complete an achievement, it's just an achievement. There's no real big deal to it. You get a little name. This one, a lot of them actually give you something, which is a lot of fun. See, for example, this Go With The Flow, which is find and solve all the puzzles above Hammernell, actually gave me the title of the engineer. This one, if I was to destroy 50 unstable rocks, it would give me Boulder Buster. All kinds of fun stuff. So this is a little bit of a, yeah, and then a little bit of like a mini game, I guess you can say, where you can go and do things you wouldn't normally do. Like, for example, they have boss fights where it has you do the boss fight in a way that you would never do in the first place, completely changing up the boss fight mechanic, very similar to what they do in Warcraft. With that, it really adds a level of fun. You get a group together just to do that. It adds something new to the fight and really makes it something fun. Plus, you can get an achievement, you can get an item, you can get all kinds of fun stuff from it, from the title. That is a lot of fun. Okay, so I can't really think of... Can you think of anything else we should show on the high end? I don't know if I forgot anything.
No, I can't really think of anything. You know, nothing's jumping out at me off the top of my head.
Okay. Okay, so let's go over to final thoughts then. So I'd like to get your opinion first before I go off on it, because we know I'm going to go off on it. I love this game. So what do you think overall on the current state of Rift, what we've seen and what I've just presented? What do you feel about this game? What's your opinion?
Well, I have to say they've really done a lot of wonderful things to this game. I mean, even in the beginning here, in the low level stuff. I picked up Rift when I was taking a short break from EverQuest 2 when Rift first came out. I played it up to, I think, up to level 20 on a couple different characters, just messing around, and I don't know, it just, for me, it was lacking something back then. It was missing something. It's a good game. It looked great, a lot of fun, but I don't know, there was just something that wasn't there for me. And I'd try a lot of the different aspects of it, crafting and all, but I couldn't quite get into it. But I don't know, after they've added, all the stuff that they've added to, the expansion and everything else, it's definitely gotten a lot better, in my opinion. I think there's plenty of stuff to do. If you're just sitting here twiddling your thumbs, at a loss, that's your fault. It's definitely, they've presented everybody with just countless hours, and I have to say overall, it's really really good. I'm more than impressed.
Very cool. I am a huge advocate of this game. As a matter of fact, I would put this in my top 3 to 5 MMOs of all time. Not only do I feel it's extremely polished, but they've taken the best of a lot of other MMOs and they've really brought it in. They learn from what's already on the market, and they have brought the best of everything into one location. And then they added things of all of their own, like the soul tree system and the customability, and the level of customability is just through the roof. It really makes this game a lot of fun. At first glance, it looks like basic questing. It looks like the same old thing, but when you really dig into it and you really get into one of those big massive invasions and you're running with 30 people and you're jumping into the very well crafted quests and group quests and stuff like that, the instances, you're jumping instant adventure to instant adventure with a group of people during some holiday world event. It is a blast. I had a ton of fun in this game. And of course, it's more fun when you're playing with a group of people. When we had a very active guild, we were not only trying to advance ourselves, but we were helping the group. We had people crafting for each other. We had instances constantly going on, 2-3 groups rotating in instances. We were getting better as we went, just having an absolute blast. The PvP is fun in the game. It has something for everybody. And I of course, think that's what they were going for. The original game of Rift was amazing. When they added Storm Legion into the fray, it added a ton. Not only did it make the game 3 times larger, but it was just huge. It added the housing. It added more souls. It added just a level of depth that I was just shocked by. Just fantastic. Like he had mentioned, like we've mentioned a number of times in the series so far, you're never at a loss of things to do. If you are sitting there twiddling your thumbs, at this point, you're just not looking hard enough. There's tons of stuff to do. There's a lot of fun. At this point, with it going free to play in about 4 or 5 days at the time of this recording, possibly already free to play if you're watching this past June 12th, 2013, there's really no reason not to try it. Their free-to-play system, as they've announced it, allows you to go from 1 to max level, including the expansion, without paying. It has a large chunk of the souls unlocked. It really does not require you to pay money at all. It does not seem to be a pay-to-win model from what I've seen. And their in-game currency, the real money currency, can actually be obtained through non-real money means. There's actually going to be an exchange market, very similar to the way Neverwinter's doing it, hopefully more balanced though, that allows you to use in-game currency to get real money currency. Of course, giving people that want to spend real money a way to get in-game currency also, because it goes both ways. But you could make it without spending a penny on this game. Now that it's free, there's no excuse. If you haven't tried Rift and you're looking for an MMO, now's the time. It has the Hikaro 16 thumbs up approval. I'm a big fan. I will add, because I know there's going to be 50 comments over the course of these videos asking this question, we are on the Shatterbone server. I would love to know if you guys tried the game or have tried it in the past, what you think. Leave a comment or a question if you have one down below, and I will get back to as many as I can. Also, don't forget, you can hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. You can find us virtually anywhere. That is really all we have. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about Rift?
No, I mean, everything I said, pretty much sums up my feelings on it. One thing that I will say, though, is that I had, having played it before, I had absolutely no intention of playing this game again. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't really for me. It felt too much like, and I hate to say this, make it sound, I don't mean this to be a negative way, but it felt a lot like World of Warcraft to me, and I wanted something that was a little bit more challenging. But with everything that they've added to this, I really think I'm gonna be picking it up, especially now that it's going free to play. I can definitely see myself, logging in and playing this. It's staying on the computer, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one. A lot of the games we cover, we cover for the channel, and then they get uninstalled, and we're not really getting into them. But this game is fantastic. So, I will cut this off now because you shouldn't be watching this anymore. You should be downloading this game and playing this game.
Definitely.
So once you're done and you started playing, if you can break away for a few moments to let us know what you think in the comments, we'd appreciate it. Okay, we will see you next time.